The international break is finally done, and we're back to the Premier League. Arsenal are back to playing against in the Premier League, and we start off tomorrow against Bournemouth, 5:30 kickoff away. Let's get into it now. That has been probably one of the longest international break I felt. I don't know how long it was, but it just felt so long. And for me, I didn't even have too much of an issue with the international break. I think it gave more advantage to Arsenal when you look at how many injuries we've been getting, especially to Martin Odegaard, waiting for Martin Odegaard to come back, Mika Marino coming back fit. I think the international break actually does help for Arsenal when you look at, in terms of giving us time for, providing us time and allowing our players to come back. But of course, it doesn't look too good with Arsenal right now because I don't know how many players are now being rumoured to be injured. Of course, today, the report was apparently Saka hasn't been training. Martinelli got an injury playing for Brazil. Gabriel, I think he actually isn't. I think he's fit. Kai Havertz apparently is also injured or something. I don't know. I probably he will play. Tomiyasu, no surprise there. I mean, Tomiyasu, we'll talk about this guy another day, but again, injured. Timber, Ben White, who's still apparently injured now. Arsenal's injury record, I'll be honest, is looking really bad this season. When you compare to last season, we had a majority of our players fit, but it seems like that we used all our luck, all our injury-free cards last season, and now it looks like we have run out because of how many injuries we have. But regardless of injuries, Arsenal's team on that game for tomorrow should be good enough to beat Bournemouth away. Okay, if you're trying to win the league, I'm sorry, injuries is not an excuse. You need to be going and beat Bournemouth away. Now, Bournemouth, where are they in the league? Let me try to find them out. They are 13th in the league. They have in the last 5 games they've lost 3 and they won 2. So pre-average, I think they're a mid-table team. I don't even know who the man. I think let me check who the manager is. I think the manager is the forgot what his name was. The guy, I think he's Spanish. I'm trying to look for it now. I really should have looked for this before I loaded it up. But yeah, Bournemouth. Our record against Bournemouth has actually been quite good. I can see that in our last 16 matches, we have 12 wins, 3 draws, and 1 win against Bournemouth. Of course, the most famous one for Bournemouth is the Reece Nelson winner last 2 seasons ago, where I really thought we were going to win the league. And what's actually significant about Bournemouth is that, especially away as well, it was Arteta's first game. When he came to the Premier League, when he managed Arsenal, it was his first Premier League game where we drew. I believe it was 1-1. And now look how times have changed. But regardless of everything, all injuries, like I said, Arsenal need to win this game. Now, in terms of the lineup, that is going to be the big question. Who is going to come out fit? Now, of course, we've seen Martinelli apparently missing, Saka missing, Havertz apparently having a bit of an injury, Ben White, Timber. I don't know who is 100% fit, but I do think they will make it. I do think Saka at the end will make it. I think the one that I'm not too confident on is actually Timber and Ben White. I'm interested to see who actually plays because, of course, we know Timber didn't go for international break, and actually against, I forgot who it was. Forgot who our last Premier League game was. I think it was Southampton. Timber actually went off early, and it was Calafiori who started playing right back. So for me, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Timber because, of course, with him coming back with a big injury, I think also trying to manage his minutes, and maybe there's a thought in the back of Arteta's head that he might not need Timber for this game, where he could maybe put Calafiori at right back and, play Kivior at left back or something like that. He might say that he doesn't need his full 11 to beat Bournemouth. So yeah, in terms of the rest of the team, I think the rest of the team are going to be the exact same. I think it's going to be Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. Of course, Declan Rice played for England, so I think Declan Rice will be ready. I don't think he's a player that wants to have a break, so I think we'll see him play. But I think it'll be more a similar team we saw against Southampton. Actually, not as much. We're not going to see Sterling. We're not going to see Jesus. But, I mean, if those 2 players do come on, they do have to make an impact. In terms of Bournemouth, the only 2 players that I can see that have really changed is, of course, they signed that striker Evan Ilison. I definitely butchered that name. And I definitely remember this guy because when he played against us in Porto in the Champions League, this guy caused us trouble. He's a very physical striker, and I think he almost scored a goal. Of course, they signed Kepa. So I think Arsenal, defensively, we need to keep alert. Like when you look at our last 2 games, we've conceded 3 goals, and that's simply not good enough when you are playing against team newly promoted teams, you need to be keeping clean sheets. So for me, not only do we need to win, but we need to keep a clean sheet. I think that's the number one thing. I think we need to get back into the habit of defending well. Yes, we've been defending decent, but when you look at, we've conceded 3 goals. So clearly we haven't, the stats are showing that we haven't been defending well. So we need to get a clean sheet. And what's very important is that we do not slip, because recently against both Southampton and Leicester, we actually slipped. We conceded, one game we bowled a 2-goal lead, and then the second game we conceded first. And against a better team like a Bournemouth, you concede first, it could be very difficult to get back into the game. So let's just hope the players don't get complacent and they are on it from minute 1. But for me, we have to win, not at all cost, because when you look at, I think Liverpool are playing Chelsea, so there is a chance of Liverpool dropping points. So we need to be there to capitalize. And I think we got Liverpool away soon, so it's time to build some momentum. We got some tough games coming up, and I think this is the first game to start off. But for me, I am confident we should get a win. In terms of the score, I'll say a 2-0. I don't even know how yeah, I would say a 2-0. 2-0. Bournemouth is one of those old stadiums, those old school stadiums where like the stands and everything is so close to the pitch, which means the camera's also close to the pitch, and it almost looks like at a point you're playing a FIFA game. But like I said, win at all cost. And yeah, that's just my thoughts. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Who would be your starting 11? Are you feeling confident? Who'd be your starting lineup? Do you think I'm being a bit too confident? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Make sure you drop me your score prediction in the comments below. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.